Welcome to the Legends of Iron. I'm John Anderson. Meet my co-hosts, Nick Best and Akeem Williams. We're going to have some amazing guests on the show. Buckle up tight, because we're going to be talking about the shit you're not supposed to be talking about. We're going to be discussing anything and everything it takes to become a Legend of Iron.
Legends of Iron is brought to you by Muscle Mints. Muscle Mints is the creator of Carnivore Pure Beef Protein Icing. Beef builds muscle, and Carnivore is the world's #1 selling beef protein.
And don't forget to try our new carnivore flavor, Rocket Pop.
Oh, damn. Whoa, this is it right here.
Wow, this is protein? Delicious.
This is too good to be protein. Woo, we about to change the game with this one.
You're gonna love it.
Welcome to another edition of Legends of Iron. I am John Anderson. With me always my partners in crime, Nick Best and Akeem Williams. We have got a killer show for you today. The first time ever on Legends of Iron, we have a couple. And we not only have a couple, we have one fucking badass couple. They're both Canadian, and they are both world-class strength athletes. That's fucking right. You heard me correct. World-class strength athletes. Now, keep in mind, they're going to help me with the introductions of their last name so it doesn't sound like somebody's cut my tongue out in the middle of this introduction. So, Max
Boudreault
and Sam
Belliveau.
Welcome to the show. What's going down?
Awesome. We're excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
First off, thank you so much
for
letting me kind of gracefully get out of the fact that I was never going to be able to mispronounce your names properly. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we're really excited to have you guys on the show. And like I said, you guys are the first couple that we've had on. And talk about a dynamic duo, man. This is really, really cool stuff. So, well, first off, how's obviously, Max, you're prepping for World's Strongest Man. How's that going? I'm sure it's going well. And yeah,
it's going well. I've been really focused on my lower body because my upper body, like my shoulder, has an issue, and I'm finally over it. So I trained behind the neck just 3 times for this prep, but I'll be ready to go this weekend for sure.
There we go. There we go. So, on that level, Sam, how is it that you could? I know when we were talking, we were setting up the time of the day for the show. You were kind of letting us know that, hey, we like to have everything set up way in advance, so he just kind of cruises in. So clearly, you're a part of the prep. How do you contribute to his preparation?
Well, it is like he's part of my prep. I'm part of his prep, and it's not just about in the training. We're very fortunate that, like, you know, we run a gym together, so we're literally together 24/7, and it's really good because we have very big mindsets of like what actually our goals are, and like if I want to slack on one day, well, he's right beside me, and like, you know, he'll push me to work out or eat better or whatever, everything that's going to make us better, even for recovery. And I know World's Strongest Man is like it's a great experience. I mean, it is a long week for us to go at Worlds for 10 days and stuff, but it's such a fun week, and I've never seen Max actually so ready for this contest as he is. Like, I keep saying that for every contest, but he keeps showing up to the gym every day and just being so much more mentally prepared. I know physically he's there, he's proved that he belongs on this international stage, but now that the playing field is getting so much stronger, it's who's going to be able to last mentally throughout the whole week at World's Strongest Man. And that comes with experience. I'm sure Nick can pretty much agree that, like, when it comes to a 5-day show, if you're gassed out after one day, you are screwed, right? So Max is really dangerously ready for this year.
That's really cool. I love to hear it. And now a lot of these questions, I'm just going to flip it back around, obviously, because, you know, so Max, talked a little bit about how you help Sam and her preps.
It's amazing. Like, we have lots of fun. Like, we play with our own programming all the time. She's from a powerlifting background. I'm more from strongman and bodybuilding. So when we met up 3 years ago, we actually created something great together. Like she said, I have no lazy days. Like, if ever I feel like slacking off, like, she's 20 pounds behind me. So it's kind of a slap in the face. I don't want to admit that, but like I need to step it up, even if it's hard. Like the take press and all those powerlifting lifts, like she can take press 60-pound dumbbells. So I'm like, fuck, man. Like I really need to step it up for those things. But that's what's making me get better, and that's why we improved the past 3 years. And like I was okay strongman, but I'm really good for those reasons, because like having a partner, like you don't need to fight with them, like to go to the gym or whatever, and like have a mindset that we have together. They want to push each other. It's just really good. Like sometimes I wonder when the competition mindset stops. Like last year we used to have like a schedule, like okay, let's see who's best at this sport, so like the checkers, the chess, and all this, like who's better. Like we have fun. It's funny, yeah.
That's really cool. You guys sound. Yeah, that's killer.
During COVID, we made this list of like, it was like chess, ping pong. We had like a bunch of sports. We would just go through each one, and it was just so fun. Bowling, it was fun.
So who's winning so far?
They're a good question. Who's gonna admit they're not winning? Would be more of the question.
But I need to play smart, because if I want to replay those games, I need to let her win, because when she loses, she doesn't want to play anymore.
That's so true.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good. So on that level, you guys kind of remind me of my wife and myself. We're both, we're together all the time. I mean, literally, probably the longest time we're not together is when I'm taking a dump.
I was just gonna say.
So like in our world, what happens is I kind of wear her out. Does that make sense? So do you guys have a dynamic like that too? Like she's kind of like, okay, I need to go out to the guest house and get away from you. She doesn't say that. She just quietly goes out to the guest house to get a little space. But do you guys have a dynamic like that too, where one of you guys kind of wears the other thin, or is it kind of equal? What's it like?
Well, I go meal prep here and there to get a little break.
He'll leave. But Max leaves tomorrow for World's Strongest Man, and I only leave Saturday. So it was at the end of a few prep where I'm like, you leave a day before, and I can have a day here to get my shit together before going to Worlds.
That's cool.
I mean, we've only been together for about 3 years, so I think we don't get sick of each other yet. But we have our times where it's like, I need food, go get me some food.
If you're not seeing each other by now, you're not going to be. So you're good. It happens at about that 1.5 year mark, to where it gets really, you're crawling on each other. So if you haven't had it by now, you ain't ever gonna have it.
I think it's good. Yeah.
The cool thing about that is you guys are always together. So that little time apart, like a day or two, you guys miss each other so quickly, I bet, correct? That's how my lady are. Like being apart for 2 days feels like it's months, because we're together all the time. It's comfortable together, it's apart. Yeah. It's like I'm a peg leg without her or something,
Yeah, it was like this morning I had a 2-hour nail appointment, and I was like, 2 hours away from you feels so long.
You know what? I actually go get pedicures to cut some of that down. I go get pedicures with her. That's part of what I do. It's crazy. I love it.
You gotta
John.
Getting pedicures.
Nick, are you listening to John over here, Nick? I just heard that. I just heard that.
Well, in my defense, I've been painting my toenails for 30 years. So I did it before I met her.
Max, I hope you don't go get pedicures, Max.
No.
If I could get my toe up to the screen, you'd see I got silver right now. Shit, man, they're always painted.
Okay. All right.
Okay, John. That's it. That's it. Hey, whatever entertains us. You know what I mean? We're all
exactly.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, John.
I mean, well, think about this. Look at the weird shit we do that entertains us. Is it really that fucking different than someone paints their toenails on top of the weird shit we do? Hell no.
No.
Max say he rather leave sandbags.
That's funny.
I think I'd rather live sandbags.
That's good shit. So why don't you guys each share some for each of you guys, one of the most intense favorite competition moments? It's always fun to hear a high-level competitor talk us through not only the event, but how you felt during those moments. Whichever one of you guys wants to start is fine.
Go first.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, like I've only really hit the international stage this year, and I was able to start my year off as at the Arnold Championship as an amateur, and I went there as a middleweight, and I was just under a 1 year post injury, so I had dealt with so much in 1 year, and hitting that big international stage has meant so much to me. And winning 6 out of 6 events that weekend just proved to myself that I was back and if not stronger than I was. But doing my axle clean and press event on the Rogue stage in front of just this crazy cool crowd. If you watch the video, you can tell how much fun I'm having.
Yeah.
And I have goosebumps talking about it. Like that was just really a good first moment in my international career where I was like, this is so cool, and this is why I do it, because strongman is an entertainment sport, like, you know, like it's been like that forever. And it was just cool to share that part. And like Max was there competing that weekend. Like I think the Arnold Classic for us this year were just so special because we were both on a great stage. So that was like a huge highlight for me right at the beginning of this year. And then obviously a couple weeks ago when we were in South Carolina, being able to break that world record, and I guess that all-time world record in 2 weight class, and having Nick there as a ref, and then Max there, my dad, like it was just like such a humbling moment that it's just like, cool, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and I'm doing something great with it, so like let's just keep it rolling. So that was, for me, definitely 2 big highlights, and it just so happened in the last like 3 months.
That's awesome, man. That's totally awesome. And those, you know, when you live in those times, it's almost like that, like you talked about having that day where you won all the events. It's almost like you're in this place where you don't want to leave. It's like this little part of your life that's like this perfect little euphoria. And you get to go back and you know, obviously you're always working for another day like that. But that's really cool that you already had one. You know?
Exactly. It was just like all these hard months of like, you know, rehab and like building my squat literally from TRX squat to a barbell squat, and like just rebuilding everything. Like it kind of like all came crashing on like that weekend, and was like, this is what you did it for, to be able to prove to yourself that you are worth being at the top. And this is your spot.
I was going to ask you what injury you came back from, and you kind of explained it right there.
Yeah, so last year in April, I was going for a Canadian axle clean and press record, and it was 250 pounds. And just a couple weeks before the record, I was told I was able to use my belt. So Max and I kind of brainstormed, and we're like, you know what, if I can save like a bit of energy belt cleaning, it might actually, you know, like it could be worth that extra 10 pounds that I can add to my press. So with no little to like maybe, I think I had 1 training on belt cleans prior. So I went for that. It was 250 at the time. And the second I got it off of my belt, I definitely overshot it and it hit my neck. And I felt that. And the bar came crushing down on my hip pelvis area. So I had like a strain synthesis, a strain in my pelvis, and then a few vertebrae that were shifted. So it was just like a lot of rehab. And to be honest, like the only great chiro out there that was able to help me in that moment was Todd McDougall. And I've only seen him a few times, like when I was going to the Shaw Classic or wherever he was when Max was. So he was able to, I think, fix me 3 or 4 times before the Arnold. But it was a shitty injury that that just taught me a lot, though, because like as a coach, like I was able to not only teach myself about rehab, but now I'm able to kind of, you know, work around some of these areas with a lot of my clients now. So it's kind of cool.
Well, the interesting thing about that is it sounds like your plan of conserving some energy with the clean using the belt worked too well. It popped you in the neck. Yeah,
it surprised me. Yeah.
Well,
I've never done a belt clean ever again, and I will never do a belt clean ever again. Fuck that.
Yeah. Right on. So, Max, your turn.
For me, it was probably Santa Monica. One of my first highlight.
Brother, I was there, so I got to say, forgive me for interrupting you, but I was doing the announcing, and brother, you were fucking the entertainment of the show. You came out and was like, here's this fucking guy, and he's just wiping everybody out. How does this keep happening? You're dealing with guys that are 6'6", 6'8", and you're walking out there. It's like you were 9 feet tall. It was totally awesome. So sorry for interrupting, brother, but it was great. Just hearing you bring that up.
Yeah, and like Nick knows, I've been in the sport for 10 years already, and I have two big holes like my yoke and deadlift, and every show that we had was always those two events in it. So that's why I never was able to burst out of the scene. And I saw those events for Santa Monica. I'm like, oh, perfect. That's my show. So I went in, and then I'm like, okay, let's just go have fun with the crowd and finish with a bang. And in the warm-up for my deadlift, I felt a zapping pain behind my hamstring. So I stopped at 2. Like, I should be good to win, so I just need to finish. So I took a walk into Santa Monica Piers. I'm just tearing up. I'm like, holy shit. I can beat those fuckers, man. Like Big Brian, Lisa, they're all talking about those guys. They're unstoppable. And I'm just won an event. Won the second one. Won the third one. And then the deadlift, well, it's usual. Then I just need to finish a sandbag, and I just missed it by an inch. So I'm like, okay, today was not the time. But, man, my Instagram, I had 1,500 people following me that night. The next morning, I was at 15,000.
Oh, brother, let me tell you, sir, I was there. I was doing the announcing, and what you described, it was even bigger, the excitement from the crowd. What you described is on point. But what I'm saying is from the outside looking in, it was even bigger and more exciting than what you described, and it was all about you, brother. But every time you came out, it was like, holy shit, is he going to do it again?
Yeah.
Because you're totally correct. Here comes Big Brian. Everybody knows what's coming from him, You came out there, and you just start laying out these numbers. It's like, okay, yes, this is the same implement everybody else is using. They're all looking. So, brother, I got to tell you, I was sharing that moment with you. That was a fucking totally awesome fucking run.
Thanks.
Yeah, totally cool. Yeah, that was
last year was World's Strongest Man, finishing 3rd. Like, that just made me believe that myself. Like it's normal. Like, I wake me up, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, you wake up, you're broken, you're sore. Like, should I keep doing this? Like, yeah, let's just finish. And so I get to the finals. My goal is to make the finals. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can beat 2 or 3 guys in the finals. After day 1, I'm in 3rd place. I'm like,
don't tell him. Like,
oh my God. So I'm taking a shower after the heat, and I start laughing. Sam's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I can't believe this. Where I'm in 3rd place. Like, can there be a hurricane or something so we can finish?
It was the year after the hurricane in Bradenton, so he's like, "Do you think it can storm tonight?"
That year was that hurricane was too, because
insane.
Man, you remember feeling the building wobble, back and forth. Walk in, you look at the toilet, and the water in the toilet sloshing back and forth. It's amazing because I saw the beginning of your career, and I followed you all the way through. And man, you were one of the toughest, grittiest competitors anyone can ever see or want to compete against. And the thing that people are going to do every time is underestimate you. And it's like it's a matter of time before you take the whole thing. It's just putting it together on that day. You have the ability to do that. So it's really just a joy to watch. It really is.
Thanks.
And that's the thing. When you're getting better faster than the other guys, that's when you're closing that gap. And, look, in the last couple of years, you've come you've progressed so much faster than a lot of the guys that they're working just as hard. It's just their career is not in that same position. You're in that peaking stage where who knows how long you can keep getting this good, this fast. And that's exciting shit,
And that's why we're prioritizing right now for recovery stuff. Like, we're trying to focus so hard. Like, we bought the Normatec boots, the arms, the shoulders. We're going to invest in the hot tub, cold tub. Like, just do all those small steps to stay as tough as I can. So, like, the longevity of the sport is really important, right? Yeah. And then just build from there.
Yeah. Totally awesome, guys. So we talked about these killer, over-the-top, euphoric, great moments. Now, of course, we got to go to the other side of the spectrum, unfortunately. So what was that moment, really, like the motherfucker moment, like, God damn it, I can't believe I did that. Have you guys had any of those moments in competition? We've all had them. Shit.
I haven't.
Haven't?
Yeah, I had for sure. No,
I thought you
did.
said haven't. I was like, holy shit, she's a killer, man. Oh my god.
So actually, like, where my strongman career started, I guess. So it was just under 5 years ago where I was brought into the strongman scene by just by default. They're like, hey, we need a woman to represent our province, or like here in Canada, province, states in the States. Just clarifying. So they're like, we need a woman to represent. You're a powerlifter. You're somewhat strong. Can you go up on the scene and just represent? And I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. So I went to national that year. I had done like a small local show to qualify right before. And so I had no idea like what were Atlas stones or anything. Anyways, I finished that contest just like 0.5 off of the podium. And that lit a fire under my ass. And then like 365 days later, I won nationals, got my pro card. Like I'd worked so goddamn hard my first year into the sport and I didn't even expect, like I was so tunnel vision for that first place and just to give it my all, like just to prove to myself. And I was so tunnel vision. I didn't even bring any clothes for the banquet or the award ceremony afterwards. Like I swear, like I was just so tunnel vision. And when they came up to me after the contest, I remember I'm laying down on the grass and my partner comes up to me and he's like, Sam, you fucking won. And that was just like a holy shit moment of like, I'm the best strong woman right now in amateur woman in Canada. I'm like, that was just like Sam, this is your calling right now. Like I was dealing with so much shit, like with work and like just like life general. And I was just like, this is something I can genuinely be okay at, right? So that was like my really big holy fuck moment of like, I'm so excited to have like, I was shown this sport where it could genuinely change my life, not knowing it was going to bring me to max. But like, it was just like that big like moment of like, this is really cool shit, right? That was definitely my first big first moment for me.
Totally awesome.
You get a thumbs up from me because you just put him in there. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max, she's a keeper, Max. She's a keeper.
I love it.
Hey, I tell you what, they're both great.
That's now we got to know how did you guys actually get together? Because you're a cool as hell couple. How did you guys connect?
Well, I went to nationals in what?
2018.
Not 20. Yeah, 2018. And holy shit, I had a girlfriend at the time. My ex was there at that time. And I see this fucking girl screaming and slapping the back of this guy's putting knee wraps. Like, who the fuck is this bitch, man? She's intense.
And then a few months later, he played
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but
nice, Max.
It's through our pro Canadian circuit here that we were able to go to nationals together and meet that way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That's
really cool.
And I even at that contest, I even asked someone, I'm like, "Who's this guy?" And then she's like, "That's his girlfriend. That's the ex-girlfriend." I'm like, "Okay, I'm out of there. Not doing business."
Man, Max, you totally one up me, man. Totally one up me.
Yeah, Nick, now we got to hear, Nick. We got to hear your story.
When I first met Callie, I was going down to the Fit Expo in 2008, and I went down with my girlfriend. And so I met Callie the first time. I walk off the elevator, there's Callie, and we just stared at each other the whole thing. But I had my girlfriend with me at the time, the girl I was dating. And so, but I didn't have an ex-girlfriend there, so that definitely got me one-upped. And then, Callie's coming over talking to me, and I'm like, yeah, she's not going to be my girlfriend much longer. And we started flirting. 12 years of marriage later, here we are.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It's been great. But man, you totally went up me. You got the girlfriend and the ex-girlfriend in the. And then,
man, I didn't know where to look that day, man.
What's that? Oh yeah,
I was an athlete test there at my bag. I didn't know where to look, man.
Oh, that sounds good. Didn't know which way you're gonna get the whop from.
I love it, man.
Oh
That's totally
Oh, that's awesome.
No,
That's so awesome.
So you guys, obviously, you're both from Canada. We know in Canada, strongman is extremely popular. I used to love to compete up there when I was active.
Yeah.
It's almost a different world. So you guys, obviously, being both high level, world elite, and Canadian, everybody, you talk to us a little. You guys are like a famous couple up there. Talk to us what life is like as the dynamic duo of the strongman world. Both Canadian, living in Canada. What's it like when you're out and about? Do people come up and talk to you and chant as you walk down the street? And
Well, not really, because basically we go home, come to the gym, train at people, go to Walmart, buy food, back home.
It's like,
But no, what you were saying, on top of that, we just took over Strongman Corporation in Canada right now. So we're actually the head of all the amateurs. So we're trying to grow the sport like that as well. So yeah, it's been great. It's a lot of work, but we're really busy.
And like it makes us have really genuine connections though with like every athlete, like not just on the top of like we're great athletes, but people now like really genuinely they really how would I say that?
They see what we're trying to do. They're supporting them.
So they're really seeing what we're trying to do for the sport in Canada, and they support us. They love us for that. And like we have a lot of messages of people being like, "Are you guys going to be at this show?" And we're like, "Well, if it wouldn't be like 80 hours away, we could, but like we have to go here or whatever." Canada is so big, right? So it's like it's hard for us to be everywhere. But we're very fortunate because it
gave us so much. The sport gave us so much. I just feel like we need to get back to the sport to grow.
So we're like, every weekends we're on the road somewhere, like to some contest somewhere that we're hosting, and it's cool. The National Amateur Championship is going to be here in our hometown or where we live now. So, I mean, I think that's going to also drag a lot of people here because people want to see what Max and I can put up as a national.
Yeah.
And, it's been great. I think people it's kind of weird for us because we're very not used to it, but people do look up to us and they, it's fun. It's actually really cool. We take it out all as a positive, and it kind of fuels our tank of motivation because we all know that we're not always motivated, but if you have genuine people that follow and support you, it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, that's really cool, guys. Really cool, guys. I mean, in the sport in general, you guys are a dynamic duo, let alone both from Canada in a country where everybody loves strength and strongman. So that's really, really cool,
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were taking over the Strongman Corporation in Canada, so that should be a great venture for you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, it kind of like the old federation hasn't bloomed at the way that we wanted the sport to do during the last few years. So with the pandemic and stuff, it kind of just went to shit, really. And then when we got to Dion asked us if we wanted to take over the sport here in Canada, we said, hell yeah, like it needs a lot of loving and we are all in for it because we want to give back to the sport. And it was all given to us, and it's like we started from the ground zero and we're making our way up, but it's great. We have a huge team in Canada that's helping us, and we're very, very lucky.
That's really cool, guys. And then obviously you'll be working in that as it develops. At some point your careers will kind of start to cool off, but you'll still be involved in the federation and grow in the sport. You get to be involved with something you love for the big picture. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's it.
And with Strongman, you're just an injury away from retiring, man. Doesn't
So you have to have some other plan or cushion. Yeah. Just like our gym, like our gym where we trained at closed at the beginning of COVID, and we needed a place to train. So we kind of just gathered a couple pieces of equipment, and we have now we started in a small bay gym, but then we expanded as we were growing, and within a year and a half, it's going to be 2 years in fall. We almost have 3,500 square feet and a huge backyard. Like and we're still private. We're not even open to the public, which is great. So Max doesn't have to wait for a squat bar or something. We don't want that to happen. Well, that's kind of our thing too. Like, I don't want to wait for my own leg press. So we keep our gym private, and it's working. I mean, we build what we want to build here as a family, and it's great. But
how many people do you have that work in your private facility there?
We both maybe so it's all one-on-one clients and classes. We have maybe 5 members, and the rest are like we have maybe a roster of 50 one-on-ones.
Yeah,
with
nice.
Classes. Yeah,
nice.
We just
So
hired. We just took on a couple other trainers to help us out because, like, example, we leave that next week for Worlds. We wanted like the people to stay on track and stuff, and they genuinely love that. So we have a couple of trainers that are helping us out here in the gym, and it's been great.
And that's a great model. With business model, when it comes with COVID you can really maneuver around whatever the guidelines are and still thrive as a business. So that's really cool, guys. Congratulations. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, and obviously with your guys' career and you being this cool couple, that business is only going to get bigger and bigger. You know.
Yeah, last year it was our first year running, and there's about like how many gyms in Thunder Bay? 20 to 30 gyms in Thunder Bay, and we actually are in our first year of running. We finished top gym in the city, so that just showed how much great commitment we had from our members.
That is totally awesome. Congratulations, guys. It's a competitive market. When you guys, I mean, it's really a testament of who you guys are. You stepped into the market and took it over in 1 year.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
And we're not from here. That's the funny part.
Oh, really?
No, we're not from here.
Wow, that's just, I guess it just shows your star power. You're known wherever you are.
Yeah,
you know, really, really cool.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your inspirations. Obviously, each one of you guys had an inspiration that got you started doing what you're doing. Why don't we go ladies first? Let's start with you, Sam.
Yeah. I think I grew up playing hockey. I played probably close to 20 years of great hockey. I played all with guys, competitive. I played up to university, so I was always a competitive athlete. I've always had different types of mentors out there, from hockey players to especially female athletes. One that I could really relate to would be like Serena Williams. She's just one great person to look at a lot of her positive things in her life, and she's really, whatever she's gone through, that just made her better in her sport. And I just think that's really cool. If you have some bad shit going on into your life and you can turn to the good iron, I think it will show some character in your life in general. So I just really like that from her. But like as a power lifter, I had Laura Phelps, obviously, as a great guidance in my corner. I was able to be under her coaching for a few months before I transitioned over to Strongman. But Laura Phelps, I think, is just someone I can truly look up to in like terms of business, as athlete, as who she is as a person herself. Like if you've ever met her, she's just a great person. And she has her gym, things that I could look up to. Like I wanted to own a gym when I was younger, and etc. So it was just great. And then obviously when I came into this sport, there was just so many great athletes at the top, like Donna and Andrea. There's just so many, and like the women's field is just growing and getting so much bigger. Mel Peacock was one of the first athletes that I was able to compete aside with when I first got into national, and I was like, who's this blonde chick? Like I just want to be like badass like her. So there's a lot of women's out there that are genuinely great ambassadors, and it's cool to be, I think, now kind of one of them. Where like
don't kid yourself. You are one of them. Don't sell yourself short. It's kind of cool,
but it's always fun to be able to chat with them and talk to them and get motivated with the women's at the top when you get to that level. But there's a lot of inspirational people out there.
And it's crazy to think that there are a new fleet of younger female athletes coming up looking at you the same way.
Yeah, I know, it's cool.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
What about you, Max?
For me, well, it's funny because actually Hugo Jarrell actually came to our high school back in grade 9. And then he just doing a meeting, just talking about like what he did and all that stuff. And he grabbed our smallest teacher was doing overhead press with him. I'm like, look at this retard, man. Like, why is he doing stuff like that, But I'm there now. I was always the smallest guy in high school. Like I weighed 170 at 6'4". And I was just lucky enough that the gym closed and capped, and my best friend actually brought his gym set in his garage. So that's how I actually started. And then when he left for college, I was trying to be as strong as he was, like during Christmas break or summer break, right? And I just got really hooked like that, thankfully, like my last semester of grade 12. And then I started doing strongman 2 years into working out. And then I was just grateful that I was stuck competing with JF. So I had him as like a mentor right off the bat. And then just watching YouTube like all day, like all night, because I was working for security, watching Brian Shaw's video about like how professional he is, all his approach and all that stuff. And I'm just really grateful now that I'm part of his team. So it's really unbelievable. But it was a long journey. People think I just blew up and seen, but it's been 10 years of working. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's, you know, it's what people don't realize. It's that 6, 8, 10 years you put the work in when nobody sees. And all of a sudden you burst onto the scene. Everybody says, where's this guy come from? No, he's been doing this a long time. You just didn't know it, you know, but that's exactly it. You know? Yeah. I mean, that's that day at Santa Monica, there was a lot of people thinking that about you. Like, where did this guy come from? You know, you were just destroy all these guys that everybody knew were going to do well. And all of a sudden you're turning them upside down. That was exactly what they were thinking. They didn't know you've been doing it for 10 years, you know? Yeah. So that's really cool, guys. I mean, obviously having, you know, being connected to your inspirations and you know, and just the fact that you guys, it's really cool that you guys are now those inspirations for the younger people coming up. It's like you're paying it forward. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's really true.
Yeah. That's
and
really
like
good.
Having JF too, like we built a very strong relationship with JF over the last 2-3 years, I would say, like stronger. And like he's just been like very, very good for us. And like anything, like he's kind of like our big brother, like where we could ask him anything, and everywhere we would go, he would take really good care of us. Like when I wasn't able to go at Max for Max's first World's Strongest Man because it was during COVID and whatnot, but like he was like, you know, beside like JF was there. It was just great. Like he's been really taking good care of Max and myself, and it's cool that he was there for the last few years. Unfortunately, with what happened, but I'm sure his name will still remain in the game, and he'll make an appearance when he gets the chance.
Yeah. How's he doing, by the way? Sounds like you guys have a pretty close relationship. How's he
he's
doing?
probably back at the gym this week to train upper body.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
That's great to hear.
He needs to.
I think mentally he's in a better spot than most people would think he is. Like I think he's at our age and he's done a lot of accomplishments for himself. Where like
he's done a lot.
He's done a lot. He also understands that you know he is part of a sport where like an injury can take you out any second, right? And we need to be aware of that to make us really appreciate what we are working like our journey. It makes you just appreciate your journey that much more when you know that your life can change in a split of a second. And he's in a good mindset. I mean, obviously he must have some rough days and stuff, but it is life. You can't really dwell on it, and it's taking it one day at a time.
He lived a good career. That was his first major injury, to be honest. It's just too bad it stopped him, but that was his first injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a phenomenal
it's
career.
Stopped him for now.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, he's had an amazing career. It stopped him from now, but let's see what happens 6 months from now.
I know.
He's not training legs, and he's getting healthy, and he feels good, and he gets going. I mean, we all go through that when we get a really bad injury.
Yeah.
You know, but then you start feeling good, and you start getting back to normal, and then it's like, I think he's still got some stuff left in him. It's just him getting back to the gym and getting back to training, and that'll come back out.
Yeah, I do believe that too, and I think like there's great masters, OSG and things like that he can always try to make a comeback at. So don't count him out.
No, I think if he makes a choice to come back, I think he'll be fine. It's going to be what does he want to commit himself to? It's going to come down to. That's all. It's a simple choice in his mind. He's going to say, okay, I'm hitting the throttle full bore again, or he's going to say, I'm just going to kind of keep it running, but I'm not going to put myself at that type of risk again. But he can do whatever he chooses to do, no question about that. I mean, the late in the last couple of years, the deadlift on the guy just phenomenal.
Keeps going up.
He never stopped getting stronger, man.
No.
My God. It's like, I mean, you got guys that are struggling. He just walks out there and just kind of stands up with them.
Never mind his deadlift, his squat at the Arnold's.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, the squat was amazing.
Yeah.
He got out that surgery.
It looked like he had way more left in him too.
Yeah.
John went over to see him after his surgery. He's like, "I'm sorry, John, I didn't do a 1,000-pound squat."
That's what he said.
Yes. She's like, "Don't worry about that, please."
But that's just a testament to what a great guy he is. You know?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, very
Man,
very cool.
Funny.
So with I'm sure you guys probably run into this, with all the influence that you have in Canada and the younger athletes coming up, you probably have people ask you, for advice. But for for our listeners, what advice would you give to the young up and comers that are kicking and scratching, trying to get to the level that you guys are on, that international scene? What advice would you give to the youngsters coming up?
The best advice, the advice that they don't want to hear, man. Take your time. Take your time, build your joints, build your tendons, because it takes a while to build those up. And if you build too fast with a shit form or whatever, like focus on your form, because we're gonna go under weight load that you can snap really easy. It's not CrossFit, guys. Like if one tweak, you're done. Like look, JF just slid a bit with his foot and snapped his tendon. Like we're dealing with weight that's really heavy. So the longer you take, just like I remember as a kid, I used to always be pissed off every World Strongest Man. I don't get invited because I can beat this guy. I can beat this guy. But the more it took, I realized, hey, wait, the longer I wait to get there, I'm not just going there for the heats. I'm going there to make a statement.
Yeah.
And I was just lucky enough that I was with Novi and Tom the first year. But no, I made a statement. So I was ready to go back. So I will be remembered, not the guy who get shit last and don't get invited next year, right? So just take your time, enjoy the process, because the more you enjoy, the better you'll get. And like the reason why I got really good the last 3 years is because of Sam. Like I have a partner who believes in us, like who does the same thing, who like I feel comfortable. So I'm not stressed at all, and that made a big difference.
Yeah, that's such a true thing when you have someone in your corner, someone that's by your side every step of the way. It is extremely helpful, extremely motivating, effective. So you guys, this is really cool to actually talk with both of you guys on the show, because like I said, I keep saying dynamic duo, but I mean literally, think about how many people on the planet, or how many couples on the planet that we compare to you guys. There's nothing. You guys are kind of you're a really cool couple, and I'm stoked that we had you on the show. It's been a lot of fun talking with you. Absolutely. Yeah. And obviously the fact that you guys are sharing your knowledge with our listeners, we're really thankful for that as well. So what type of advice would you give, say, another couple that was both trying to do what you're doing? What would you say? Advice to the couple?
Yeah, she's all yours.
So I'm gonna be honest. Like, don't fake it for your partner. Don't do it for the wrong reasons. If it comes truly from the heart and the mind, you will be successful. We don't bullshit anything. We don't fake anything for the gram or whatever. We are genuinely ourselves. And I think that makes a huge difference. We don't fake anything. We literally, what we say we are, and we work hard because we love working hard. We are not, by means, we're not fucking perfect at all, but we generally do everything we do with our heart, and that just makes a huge difference for us.
That, and if the couple are actually training partners, like you need to set boundaries, man. Like when you train together, you can't be couple-ish or whatever, like what you want to say, because or oh, good job, honey, when it's not good. Because what happens is that no, but for real though, because
absolutely.
The compliment where it's not needed should not be knowledge, right? Because then later on, that thing, like let's say in between sets, she's always on her phone instead of working out, and you don't say anything, and then after 3 months, it gets annoying, and then you say something, but it's too late now because she created that aspect right away.
Yeah.
So if you're training as a couple, you need to leave the couple for an hour. Just focus on training to get better, and be honest with each other. Like I know some stuff might hurt, we got into a lot of fucking fights, man, over the years, but it got us better. Like, you need to understand that there's training partners and then there's couple aspect after. Like, it's okay in between sets. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I should have been nicer, but let's be real.
Oh man, I know this all way too well. Way too well.
That's very good advice, though.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
That's
So
a gem
just
right
to make
there.
sure. So
And
you're
like, yeah,
basically
like don't baby your partner. Don't like. That's a really good point, because like we both really dislike like yoke and deadlift, or not deadlift as much, but like yoke. And like, I know Max had to do yoke, and I called him out like probably how many times during this prep. I'm like, you're not done. You're doing yoke, and he's like, well, I might do it tomorrow. I'm like, no, you're gonna go in there right now and do it, and then you'll have your right. Like, I mean, like we really.
And what's nice about a couple training part, you know how to press your partner's buttons, right? You know what to say, you know what to say, you know how to push the person to piss them off when you need to. So like those are really good tools if you know how to use them. And you need to use those buttons right at the beginning, because you can't add that throughout the workout, because now like, oh, he's such an asshole today, you know?
Yeah, I mean, my lady, literally, she'll just say to me, I don't think that's a good idea. And usually she's trying to slow me down because I'm trying to move too fast. That's because obviously we have our you know, how we operate as a couple too. And obviously we've been together for almost 20 years. So it's the language is pretty dumbed down to really simple shit, you know, like you know, I don't think that's a good idea. You know, obviously, but I love your advice of it's two modes. You got couple mode and you got training mode. That makes it so clear and so simple. For anybody, you know, obviously couples that are trying to get into strength together, because I know there's a lot of couples that both like strength that try to do it together, and unfortunately, it wrecks a lot of relationships too. You know, because they don't know how to manage it. So, killer advice. What good stuff.
Well, we both came out of that like that type of relationship too. Like prior, like I think we've had both our relationships prior to ours that like. We tried with the gym couple thing, and it was just kind of fake, or it was different, or it wasn't, you know, genuine or whatever. And that's when we met. It was just so easy for us because we were both on different but same levels. And
so the big question now, I know you guys both strong men, both eat a lot of food. How does that work out?
Good question, huh?
Well, it's funny, right? Because she has a weight cut. Okay, so like, and her sister just moved in with us, and she's a foodie like me, so we like to go like for a Walmart run for snacks, and like, she gets pissed off because she doesn't want to eat it, but it's there, so she starts eating it, right? So we need to find the perfect balance.
But we eat a lot. We actually do eat a lot. We have like this meal prep company out west that sends us meal like weekly or bi-weekly or whatever, and we try to eat generally a lot of food. We were both under Nathan Pathan for a while. Max is still prepping with him through, going into Worlds. What we just and we like as big people like us, you just generally have to eat a lot of food. I think like I do still have a weight cut and stuff, but if I eat a lot of good food, I won't be over my weight cut or my weight class, right? Like you can, but you can't really overeat a lot of good food. So it's generally just eat a lot of food all the time.
And eat food that you enjoy eating, because if you don't enjoy your food, you get bored, and then that's where you start cheating, right? Often.
Very true. No, I understand the whole part about having food in the house that's not wanted there, Sam, because you know my wife, when it's just us in the house, where basically our kids are gone. When they come home, she gets food that they're gonna eat. Well, when I eat that food, I start farting up a fucking storm, and she gets all pissed off about me farting. I'm like, listen, what do you want from me? You put that shit in the house, you know I'm going to eat it, and you know the side effect is some gas you're going to have to swallow, so stop busting me up and go put that shit in the house, you know?
See, for me, it's not the farts. It's going to be the next morning where I feel like all poofy and like, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do last night, Max? And then I'm grumpy, and then he's like, okay, we're going to eat good now for the rest of the week. I'm like, finally. I I just gotta get a little grumpy, and then we're good to go.
Oh, that's cool. I love it.
Nick was going to say something. I'm not sure. You
Oh yeah, what were you saying, Nick?
Well, I was going to bust kind of Max's balls a little bit. So you got 2 events that you don't like to train. Why on earth are you doing those last? You should be doing those first.
Oh, I am doing those first?
Yeah, you need to be doing yoke first and the deadlift first. Why are you putting those off and doing those last?
I'm just doing yoke usually after like my overhead press, and then I switch to yoke.
Okay.
You got to start doing that first. Got to start doing that first. Yes. You need to start doing that first when you're fresh.
Yeah.
And getting after that.
Max, he's actually he's very right, because me being a professional bodybuilder, I hate training abs, and I would usually put it at the end of the workout, and I would just bullshit it. Yeah, I'll just bullshit it the whole time. So what I started doing recently, I started doing them at the beginning of the workout, and it's made a huge difference.
For sure, I believe it. Yeah, for sure, I should do that.
Very true.
Yeah, that will tell you that obviously the old man has spoken. So you've got your direct orders, Max. You know,
Sorry.
Nick has got all the experience coming down the pipe here. He's just he's looking out for you.
Listen,
what sucks is that she heard it.
That's why I said it. Because I know now. Remember what Nick said? You need to go do that. Do it first.
Nick, you got to hold up the gauntlet when you give him some advice.
Yeah, true. Just make sure the yoke is balanced.
Thanos has spoken.
I love it. Okay, so this is a awesome 3-part question. So you guys are going to each answer individually, and then you're going to answer as a couple. So if you could basically go back in time to give yourself, only yourself, one piece of advice, how far back in time would you go to talk to yourself, and what would you say to yourself? What would be that one piece of advice? So ladies first.
I think fresh out of high school, I feel like I was like rushed into going to university, making big plans at 17, dropping grants on a degree I wasn't 100% comfortable with. I got involved in just so much in university, and when things started falling apart because I wasn't ready, it was hard for me to deal with that because it was just a lot, right? Like if like school wasn't working out, it was so much money and I was not enjoying school. I was half-assing my hockey then because I was getting into a big party life, just like a huge like snowball effect of negative things. So like my biggest advice to myself then would have been like, take a second. If it's a year, you breathe, you go out there, get the experiences you need to become a better, stronger adult moving into the adult life. Because I'm nowhere to where I thought I would be back then. I just think like gaining all these experiences with life, with barbell afterwards, like, getting a job at the gym and stuff, like it just made me better at pointing exactly in what direction I wanted to be or what I wanted to become as I was growing up. Just don't rush it, but getting a lot of good experiences, be around people that generally make you better in life, grasp experiences like that. Like I remember one of my first seminar was Donnie Thompson back in Nova Scotia, and like just kind of like hearing him talk about his experiences in the sports and stuff, and I thought that was so cool that he was able to travel and do powerlifting meets with people and like mind-like people, and never would I thought that I'd be a gym owner and a coach, but those comes with experiencing of knowing who you want to become, right? So that would definitely be my biggest advice.
Very cool. Very cool. Max, what about you, brother?
I don't know, man. I enjoyed the process because I had like a lot of ups and downs that made me who I am today, right? So just meeting the right people at the right time got me to where I was at, and I think that's pretty much it, man.
Wow.
Because like basically I went when I was a kid, my neighbor was 3 years older than me, so I felt like I had to play catch up all the time because like I needed to be good at whatever he was doing, unless I would have lost him as a friend type of thing. So that's where I got really competitive. The fact that the gym closed in my grade 12 and I started training made me want to do health and fitness promotion in college. So I moved up there and I saw a few friends like maybe I'll start doing bodybuilding. So I did bodybuilding until national juniors. And I was such a shy kid. I'm like, how am I going to step on stage with opposing trunks? but then you walk backstage and you realize everyone's wearing that. Okay, that's better. So I went up to national as a junior athlete, and then one of my friends showed me Strongman. So like I just got lucky enough that like, hey, come try Strongman every Saturday. So every Saturday we're doing sled push pull, log press, tire flip, farmer's walk. And every week I was getting better. I'm the type of person who I love being competitive and I love to get better. So I just started doing that. And then after college, it wasn't working in Sudbury. I moved back to Timmins. I tried to open a gym there. It wasn't successful. So I shut that down to move to Thunder Bay where there was a lot of more strength athletes. So I moved here. And then when I met Sam and then she moved here and then we just expanded, built a gym. And then here I'm at now. So like it was a long journey. I need to do bankruptcy throughout my old gym because I wasn't successful enough. But like all those things lent to this day to be the person I am today. So like,
yeah,
I don't really have an advice I should have gave, but like maybe like be smarter with my money. But besides that, pick the girls like right. But like
pick your girls right, Max.
But like those are all things that brought me to who I am today. So
I don't.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
He picked you.
It's interesting, Max, because you're the second person on the show that actually said they wouldn't change a thing. So I find that pretty interesting.
It's cool.
You're the second person. Yeah.
So cool.
So that means you're happy with who you turned out to be. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, yes, but 3 years ago, no.
Yeah, I actually that question was asked of me when I was on a podcast once, and I thought, damn, that's a good question, man. Well, I'm going to start using that for ours. You know, it's really interesting to get someone's reflection like that. Really cool. So now, as a couple, if you guys could go back you got to answer this individually. So basically, Sam, if you had to go back to a certain okay, Max, you got to go first this time. Okay, so if you had to go back in time in this 3-year period of your relationship, and you could give yourself a piece of advice about your relationship, what would it be?
Oh, damn, Nick, you put him on the spot.
I would have probably messaged her earlier.
Okay,
because like. Man, it was crazy. Like I messaged her on January if she was going to California Strongest Woman. So I asked her if she was going, and she's like, "Yeah." So like, okay, well, I might see you there. So I made sure to be there. But and then like 2 weeks into talking to each other really well, I asked her, "Hey, do you want to come to Arizona with me?" So she's like, "Sure, yeah." So we actually met up in Quebec to fly to Arizona on February 14th. And then that's what it all started. And from that year, we traveled everywhere. I mean, we had 36 weekend out of 52 that we were traveling.
Wow.
So like for competition, for family, for everything. So like, man, we've done that for the past 3 years. The only thing that calmed us down was COVID. Yeah. So then during COVID, we were stuck. So we're actually able to focus onto something. So we put all our energy into a gym, and that's why we got really successful. So now we reopen, and then we're just traveling the world again and just enjoying life.
You guys are road warriors, man. That's totally awesome. 36 out of 52. That's a busy schedule.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think, honestly, like there isn't anything like advice-wise that I would give our relationship, just because like it's been like such pleasure meeting and being with Max that like there's not even a single thing like other than the first couple weeks when it was rowdy because of the ex-girlfriends, blah blah blah. But like, whatever.
That sucked. Yeah,
that sucked.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so you just tell yourself to relax, let that stuff pass. It'll pass.
It will pass. But it's been just so easy.
Yeah.
Like, as much as we work really hard on everything right now, and then with that crazy, like, yeah, we have our gym, we have our online business and Strongman Court, but then we're bringing Evolution to Canada. So we keep just bringing a lot of things, and a lot of people are like, you guys are so busy. And like, it's like, but we enjoy this with like every inch of our heart. Like, we just truly enjoy living right now, which makes everything so easy.
They don't say that we're busy. They say that we're lucky.
Yeah, that's
we're lucky because like we go train at Brian, or like we go to Calgary, or we go to Spain, or we go wherever just to compete. But like, man,
I hate
it's not lucky. We've worked for 10 years, man, for this. Yeah. And now we're finally having a paycheck that we're able to enjoy. Right, so now we're just riding the life, enjoying the moment until
you're living your dreams.
There.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys are living your dreams, and the best part is you guys get to do it side by side. I mean, there are very, very few people on the planet who get to live their dream at all, let alone get to live their dream and have their other half live it beside them doing the same thing. So, I mean, really, really fucking cool, guys.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had you on here for an hour, and I know obviously you're getting yourselves prepped, getting ready to get out of town, go to World's Strongest Man. But I got one more question for you guys. This one will be a little easier, so it's not. There's no. You don't have to look at. You don't, Sam. You don't have to look at Max and say he goes first on this one. So, you guys. I mean, literally, again, you're the dynamic duo. You guys you're both at the highest level. People are already starting to look up to you, and you're basically making an impact on the strongman world. So when it's all over, when competing is done, what do you guys want to be remembered for? So this one's 3 parts too, individually and as a couple.
After seeing JF's injury, I feel like I'm the one who's stepping in his shoes. I want to be the person who represents Canada as much as I can. I want to give back to the athletes, because without them, there's nobody that's replacing us, right? So like, we want to give back as much as we can, and we want to be Canada to be representing well. I just feel like, because Canada is a small country of good athletes, but when there's a good athlete, they stay there for a while, like Hugo, Christian, Louis-Philippe Jean, JF, and I'm the next one, right? So I want to stay as healthy as I can, longer as I can, to be able to support Canada as much as I can international. I'm just really grateful to have Sam by my side, because she can do that for the women's side. So as a team together, we're able to grow the sport even more. And then just for a couple, right? Couple aspect where people can understand that, like, oh, we can do this as a team. It's not like you go to the gym, go do your whatever booty band or shit like that. We can actually train together and get stronger, right? Or like just everything in general, just to grow as a team.
Yeah, very cool.
Super cool. Yeah, I think like as an individual, like I never even thought about it, because like for me, like it's been only like about 5 years, but like 7 with powerlifting, and I feel like it's still not that long to be at the level that I can now place myself. But I've always said this, like since day one, it's like, if I can inspire one goddamn person, like I am good, right? Because if we can all inspire one person, we'll all be inspired. But now that like I feel like I have so much more on my plate, it's like I want to literally be able to inspire the young generation to be comfortable with go to the gym, grab a barbell, and just trust me that at the end of your day or your workout, it'll make you that much more disciplined, and it'll really feed off of every other aspect of life. Because not only did Strongman change like my way of in the gym, like as an athlete, but it's changed us as a couple. It's changed us as business owners, as individuals. Now that like I feel just so much better, like communicating with people, and it can be like really little things like that, but it's just generally gonna make you that much better. And if I can inspire women's out there just to say, heck, I'm going for it. Like I literally packed I was a 9-1 operator for 6 years. I said bye, I packed my car, and I moved 36 hours away to be with Max, because I just genuinely was like, I'm ready for a big flip in my life. And it's awesome what the gym has done to my life. Like I owe it all to the barbell.
Really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really cool.
It's awesome.
So you guys as a couple, what do you guys want to be remembered for as a couple?
I think they kind of explained that. Nick, I think they kind of answered it already.
Did the same thing times two.
Yeah, they did answer.
You know, Ak, you realize you keep calling me Nick. You realize that?
I'm sorry, John.
I think that's funny.
I'm sorry, John. Yeah, John, they kind of answered it in the question already. Yeah.
I mean, brother, shit, you calling me Nick is not a bad thing. I get called a lot of things other than my name, and Nick's one of the better ones, so I'm good, you know?
Thanks, John. I appreciate that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so basically, so as a couple, you guys are just basically kind of taking what you're doing and you're just basically being that figure amongst your fellow Canadians and doing what you're doing, which is totally awesome.
Yeah,
very
with like
cool.
Strongman Corp,
Yeah,
like we can show not only our athlete side of things, but as promoters, like we generally want to give all the athletes in Canada the more opportunities that they even think can come at them, right? So we are giving them more opportunities, more shows to win money, to win an invitation.
Yeah.
Like, that is what, like, at the end of the day, beside being a great athlete, we want to be known as great promoters, being great chairmen, ambassadors for the ones that are coming up. And we will generally do it until we can't do it anymore. And I think it's because it's got so much passion in our hearts that it's kind of
Well, you guys taking over the Strongman Corporation in Canada, I mean, that's clearly going to lead well beyond your active competitive careers, which is really cool. So you guys will be representing the sport for literally until the end. So very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you guys, it was an absolute pleasure to have you guys on the show. Me personally, I really enjoyed getting to know you guys as a couple. So thank you for your time. Much, much appreciated. But we'll wrap this baby up. Nick and Ak, do you guys have anything else for them before we sign off?
I just want to know how many eggs do they eat between both of them?
Not a lot.
Well, I used to do bodybuilding. I'm done with eggs and chickens, so it's all yours, buddy.
Wait, and you know what? Someone else asked me that this morning too. They're like, "You must eat." Oh yeah, my nail girl. She was like, "You must eat so many eggs in one day." I'm like, "There's a lot more protein sources out there, honey." I'm like, "We are sick of eggs." But
That's awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. I'll be up there on Monday, I believe.
Cool.
So I'll see you at Worlds on Monday.
Perfect.
We'll spend some time together. It'll be good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yep. Good
Absolutely.
luck, Max.
I was going to say, as
luck.
an individual, as the show, we want to wish you the best of luck, brother. We're pulling for you. So go up there and do what you do. Just make it another Santa Monica, and you're going to be just fine, my brother.
Big deal.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Another podium.
Well, thank you guys for coming on the show. There is another edition of Legends of Iron. We've got, like I said, this is the premiere of a couple, the dynamic duo. They give you tons of great information. As always, we're here to help you guys be the best versions of yourself. And Max and Sam drop some serious pearls of knowledge and advice on you, so I'm sure this show will be helpful. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Legends of Iron is brought to you by Muscle Mix.
Eating like a bodybuilder is not cheap. I mean, have you seen the recent cost of steaks lately? Thankfully, I'm able to get all my meals in and hit my macros for just a fraction of the price with Carnivore Lean Meal, Muscle Med's newest innovative whole food meal replacement.
Compare Carnivore Lean Meal to a typical bodybuilding meal. Carnivore Lean Meal stacks up in protein and carbs with none of the fat, but a carnivore shake is only about $3 per meal.
Get my 6 meal in. This is what I use right here. This is meal number 6. It's my Carnivore Lean Meal. It's a combination of carbs combined with protein. It's actually made from real sweet potatoes and white potatoes, so can't beat that. Tastes awesome. Love that product. And to top it all off, guys, it's lactose-free and sugar-free. Stop overpaying for your meals and eat clean with Carnivore Lean Meal. It's better than any meal you can cook yourself at a fraction of the price.